We'll have to edit that part out. Speaking of that, though, I was just when you had initially called me, I was at the grocery store, and my wife told me to get bananas, and let's just say there was a bunch of people sitting around and blocking the bananas, and so I just decided to leave.
Dang.
But and
Bunch
whatever
of doctors
people
and
group
engineers.
yeah, whatever people group you decide is in your own mind.
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
that's just something that happened to me today.
Dang.
But
Yeah.
hey, we've been trying to get doing to do a call for a while, and it took us about 40 minutes just to figure out how to record. So
Literally.
here we are, but we got you, we got the tech guy here, so we figured it out. And I wanted to say, out of the gate, Abraham's a really cool name. That's a strong name. You don't meet a lot of people named Abraham. It's like you
Yeah.
got Abraham in the Bible, and you got Abraham Lincoln, and then you
Me.
got you. That's all. That's the only people with that name that I've
For
ever heard
real.
of. So
For
that's a
real.
cool name. But
Thanks,
yeah,
man.
this is brother Abraham. I guess what we're doing is like he's recording it, and then he's gonna send me the video, and then we're gonna upload it or whatever. So hopefully this even goes through and this works. This might not even, who knows what's going to happen with this recording. But um, there's a few things I wanted to talk about, just that I've seen as like rising trends lately. Uh, one of them being, and then it'll kind of branch off into the other ones, I think. But one of them being is like this whole post-mill thing, because you have like pre-millennial, post-millennial, and then amillennial. And correct me if I'm wrong, but it's my understanding that premillennial means that Christ has not reigned for 1,000 years yet. I mean, is that basically what that means? Like, is that right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Jesus first needs to come back before that happens, you know?
Right. Yeah. So it's like the rapture. As if you're a Latin speaker, the
Yeah.
rapture needs to happen, and then um, then the wrath happens, and these kind of things, and then throughout this process, eventually Jesus Christ comes back to the earth, on a white horse with all the saved people, and then
Mhm.
rules and reigns for 1,000 years. So that's premillennial means that we believe that hasn't happened yet.
Yeah.
But what seems to be the popular um, stance is post millennial and then also amillennial. Those are
Mhm.
like the Christian influencer, the popular, the Jeff Durbins, that NR that NXR guy who's like doing Nick Fuentes interviews right now. These kind of guys, they're the ones who are like popular right now. And I what kind of really made me fired up about this is that I had no idea that those views were so popular. I thought that was kind of Bible says it's clearly it hasn't. But I saw a meme, and you know that meme, and it's when Zelensky, the president of Ukraine, went to the White House. You
Yeah.
remember that?
Yeah.
He was like sitting down with Trump and Vance, and the meme is like President Zelensky is like sitting there like kind of like this, and then Trump has got his hand up like no, and then JD's got his hand up like no, no, and it's kind of like the meme is that Zelensky is pre-mill, and then Trump and Vance are post-mill and ah-mill. And then
Yeah.
so it's kind of like they're just like, no, pre-mill is not even in the conversation. That's ridiculous. And it's like, so my question is, when exactly did Christ rule and reign for 1,000 years? Because
Right.
post-mill implies that it's after that. And then ah-mill is like, well, he's like reigning in our hearts or whatever. So,
Uh,
I mean, ah-mill would make more sense, I guess, but the Bible talks about like him coming on a horse, like coming to commit warfare, like and ruling and reigning from a physical throne. So obviously the ah-mill thing's dumb. Um,
yeah.
are my windshield wipers too loud? Is that annoying or is that
You're good.
okay? Okay, but
Yeah.
so the argument I guess that could be made is either is it pre-mill or is it post-mill, and and then I'm gonna hand you the floor for a second after I say because I'm ranting a lot, but like the post-mill thing. says that Christ already ruled and reigned for 1,000 years. But, when that happens in the Bible, then, after the 1,000 years, Satan is let loose for a little season. And
Yeah.
so the theory is that we're in Satan's quote unquote little season right now. And in my mind, like I'm willing to explore wacky ideas and stuff. Like I'm not as like rigid about certain things. Like I'm willing to at least like have fun with thoughts. And you know, it would be cool if like there was 300-foot giants and like
Yeah.
these mountains are like actually a giant died and laid down on his side and then he became a mountain. Like the conspiracy theory, like Himalayan salt. And it's like it's the
No way.
Himalayan mountain, like Himalayan, like he's laying down. And it's like, yeah, that'd be
Bruh.
cool if like
That
mountains
is-
were alive and like there was giants and there was like cyclops and orcs and
Yeah.
elves and dwarfs. Like that'd be great, but I don't think that's the case. But um, so the thought is we're in Satan's little season. Jesus already reigned for 1,000 years, and now we're under this great deception. But if that were true, like let's just have a thought experiment. If it were true, that would mean that Christ is somewhere right now on the earth in a throne, like ruling and reigning. And
Yeah.
so I guess the conspiracy is that like the Jews are like hiding him from us somewhere deep within Israel so that we can't like know that he's there, or he's
Yeah.
like beyond the ice wall and Earth is flat or something, and he's in Antarctica. That's the only way it would be possible. But what's your thoughts on all that? What do you think about all that?
Okay, so I mean, basically, the Bible, it's just stating, what you said in Revelation 20. I mean, I can just start in like verse 7. It says, "And when the 1,000 years are expired, Satan shall be loosed out of his prison." Verse 8, "And shall go out to deceive the nations which are in the four quarters of the earth." And then it says, "Gog and Magog, to gather them together to battle, the number of whom is as the sand of the sea." So, I mean, I don't know. It's like, what would Gog and Magog be in this case? In this, like post-millennial reality that we're, thinking about? Like how would that play out? I don't know.
Yeah,
It's like kind of weird, but like, I mean, does it even matter? But at the same time, like all these things that it's like all these like other inferences that Jesus must be like, I don't know, somewhere out there in like the ice wall or something, and like the Jews are blinding us. I don't know, like I don't see anything like that anywhere in the text. The only people who are like deceived and are like the people who took on the mark, that they got that strong delusion, whereas like the Christians, I think, I mean, it's not that I think, I totally believe that, Christians have already had their resurrected bodies, the ones pre,
yeah,
all this tribulation and stuff. So like, I don't know,
right,
it's
right.
like I guess we're in this, alternate reality. We would be like, those people who get saved during the millennial reign of Christ. And
Right.
we're apparently right now being ruled under a rod of iron. But that's like super insane because like there's no rod of iron being, executed right now. It's like Satan's little season. Like, where does it say that Jesus stops ruling for, with a rod of iron? And, it even says, to him that overcomes, he will also, be ruling with Jesus with a rod and iron as well, right? If I can find that verse somewhere, let me see. But yeah, that's
Yeah,
my
and it's
thought.
like because when during the millennial reign, there's no like doesn't it specifically say there's like it's going to be a land without walls and without weapons and these kind of things. And then you look at like Israel today, there's walls all over the place and weapons all over the place. And
Yeah,
it's like this is going to be a place where people can just come freely, come in and out, right? And it's just perfect peace. So this thought that well he's hidden away behind a wall, the ice wall, or he's hidden away like somewhere in Israel behind some physical wall there, or that he's hidden away at all, it just seems kind of silly. But I mean, they would just argue, well, we're under the deception of Satan right now or something, and it's like, but you know, yeah, like we would already have our glorified bodies, but yeah, like you said, we would if that's all true what they're saying, then yeah, we would be the ones who are like getting saved during the millennial reign. But you know, I don't know. It seems really silly, the whole thing. Like that Jesus is because these are people who don't know the Bible. That's
Yeah.
the problem is like they're just like making stuff up. Like that post that I sent you of some woman where she's like, there's parasites in the snow and AI is controlling the parasites. And like, we're about to go back to the book of Joshua when he fights AI. It's like that's the level of Christianity that's out there today. But it's just
Yeah.
so funny, like that Zelensky meme, where it's just like, no, pre-mill is not even in the conversation. Like, no, that's obviously ridiculous. And it's like, I don't understand that position.
Yeah, it's pretty retarded, bro. Like I don't know why people are like coming up with this. Like it's one of those silly things. And like you said, yeah, it's not really based on scripture because we're in the text does it say something like that that like
Yeah.
Christians will be like saved people from the millennial reign will be under a certain delusion from Satan. And look, the people that Satan is deceiving, it says, deceives the nations. And it says, to gather them together to battle. So these are the people who are getting deceived
Right.
and be gathered to battle. And then they're ultimately all
Yeah.
destroyed. That's how like everybody, like all sin and all evil is wiped away. That's like mankind's last chance. And this is mankind's, final cleansing. Because then all
Right.
you have left is people who are saved, you know? And who knows, like the timing of the resurrection and the glorification of the people who got saved during the millennial reign. We can't say any certain time, like the timing, but we know for sure that it's going to happen. But like the
Yeah.
text doesn't even tell us that. So I personally will use constraint from saying like it will happen during this certain time of the millennial reign. Like it
Right.
will happen immediately. I cannot say that because the text never says anything in that way. But out of necessity, it's we're gonna have to say that it occurs, somewhere, sometime before like the whole earth is completely redeemed and like all existence is redeemed, and then everybody's thrown into the lake of fire who even got destroyed in Gog and Magog. All the people got deceived by
Right.
Satan. So, like, that's what we see in the text. The people who are deceived by Satan are those who are not saved. So,
Right. So we wouldn't be under the deception.
yeah,
And what their philosophy is that um, this World War III or whatever we're all being led towards with like Iran and China and Russia and the United States, like people are saying that's Gog and Magog, but really what it is at least from my understanding is it's most likely the Matthew 24, like you will have like wars and rumors of wars, like leading up to the actual like tribulation and then the rapture.
yeah,
Like the post millennial thing, whether these people realize it or not, that's implying that there was already a rapture, that there was already, like the tribulation, then the rapture. Oh, I mean the rapture, then the tribulation. Amen. We ain't gonna
yeah,
be here for, but it's like that's implying that the tribulation happened. That means the Antichrist stuff already happened. The mark of
yeah,
the beast already happened.
yeah.
Like then the rapture happened, and then God's wrath happened. And it's like, when did this happen? Like, when was there like fire and brimstone being poured out on the earth? Like, and
I guess
all
we're
the
under
events.
Satan's deception, in his little season.
Right. So it's like that already happened, but we're so deceived that we don't know about it.
Yeah, like,
And
dude, everything's a conspiracy. Like, everything was photoshopped, all
yeah,
those
yeah.
pictures and everything.
Yeah, they had AI in the 50s, like, and they might have, but like, they had AI like way before, and all these 1800s photographs are all fake. And it's like part of the whole thing, and then this is where we're going to get more wacky with it, is it leads into the Tartaria talk. And I kind of explained a little bit to you like in the DMs or whatever, but the Tartaria is this great conspiracy that like humanity used to have better technology even than we have today, like back in like the 1800s, and maybe even before then. I don't know the full details of it, but in the thought is like, well, if you look at like all these like like for instance, like the Mormon temple in like Utah. I don't know exactly when it was built, but those kind of level of like those grand architectures.
Yeah.
It's like how were those built by people that like had a horse and buggy on the Oregon Trail, and then they jumped off on in Utah and then built that? Like, where did they get the resources? How did they have the technology to build it, et cetera, et cetera? And so the conspiracy is every like town in America has like these grand buildings, like the Capitol building and like things like that. Like, how was this built by like 1700s, like people with like wooden teeth and like horse and buggy, you know?
Yeah.
And so it's like some people are like it was aliens. Some people it was like we had the better technology. Some people say, well, this was Christ ruling and reigning. And so that's why all these things were built because Christ was like somehow orchestrating the building of all these things. And one of the big things that they say is like there used to be bells in cities. Like all cities had like really big like grand metal bells.
Yeah.
And and those bells were all taken away in like World War I and World War II to like be melted down for like bullets and like for like shell casings, like for like artillery fire and stuff like that. So it's like the 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 tribulation was World War II, and that's when all the Antichrist took the bells down to like melt it into, and the bells used to like give off like frequencies and things that would like help heal us. Like this gets
Yeah.
like really weird and wacky. You know
Yeah,
what I
bro.
mean? And so that was the tribulation in World War II. And then I guess the rapture happened at some point after that that we weren't aware of. That was the Holocaust. That's why there's no 6 million bodies because they were all raptured out or whatever.
Dang, no way.
But
The Jews got raptured, bro. And Hitler was the Antichrist.
right, exactly. And and then they were the 6 million. That's why we don't have any records of them.
Dude,
That's
they
why
were
it
the
seems
40,
like
144,000, bro.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Like exactly. So like so before we dive deeper into wacky territory, like what's your thoughts on all that stuff?
Dude, I just find it hilarious, bro. Like, I don't know. I think that's just funny. Like, of course it's ahistorical. Like, I don't believe it for a second. I mean, it's just like so, like you said, it's just so, I mean, for me, it's just so based on just, I don't know, just not trusting to the point where just stupid because like what evidence is there? It's just like making stuff up as you go, and it's like whatever sounds more interesting and more wacky and just like I don't know,
Yeah.
just something that like tickles your fancy. It's like, oh yeah, that it must be true. It makes perfect sense. It's like I don't know. It's just I don't know how to explain it, but just it's just like for me, it just sounds like outright stupidity, bro. I'm sorry.
Yeah. And like, well, I mean, do you think it's possible that, because there's two roads of thought there. It's like we
Yeah.
had technology back then that was then, the government hid away from us or whatever. There was some kind of reset or something where we've forgotten about it. Or like maybe people just had more time in the day. Like maybe they weren't like doom scrolling on Instagram, so maybe they were more willing to build all day long and make these grand structures. Like what do you think? Is there like were people smarter back then than they are now, or like what do you think?
I mean, I think we're as smart. Like we've always had some great tools and things. I mean, dude, I mean, honestly, I just need to look at the specifics and be like, hey, this is exactly what we used. But I always feel like there's always something constant with almost every generation, especially today, how like people feel like, oh, the people of like that time didn't have enough, so we're better than them, even morally and stuff. They will use the same kind of like knowledge with like the people with like the 54 translators of the King James, they'll be like, if the King James, they had like limited resources and like we're much smarter,
Right.
we have better tools and stuff like that. I don't know, like I think, dude, if we were to like look it up, we would actually see that they didn't just have like random buggies and all that. I think, they like even the Incas, like apparently when there was no like advanced technology, they were still able to make these very precise, stones. And the Incas are like
Yeah.
basically the Indians of like South America, basically the Andes.
Right.
But like
Yeah.
at the same time, it's like I don't believe in aliens, I don't think aliens did anything like that. I think just humans, like you said, yeah, they do have enough time. Like, I don't think humans were just like always lazy all the time. Sometimes they were. Like, who knows, like in Sparta, they used a bunch of like tons of slaves and had like an overpopulated slave population. But like, I mean, they still were able to like make great things and stuff like that. But I mean, where I'm going with this is like, yeah, I'm pretty sure there was enough time and enough technology, even though I can't be like this particular thing. I mean, bro, like I just don't. I think it's much harder to believe that this explanation of like this Tartaria occurred instead of like what we can see from history, you know? Even though
Yeah.
like I'll be honest, bro, like let me see. Let me see. I'll just like look it up, but I'll hand it up over to you to see if like,
Okay.
if I find
Um,
anything.
like, well, what do you think about like, and I don't want to get like into the pyramids and all that, but now they kind of think that, they were rather than the stones were cut and removed, now the new theory is that they were like poured in place. Like they made like a liquid like concrete kind of thing out of the limestone and then it was like poured and that's why it's so precise because you know what I mean? It wasn't like laser cut like they originally thought. Like now, but do you think that like because there's pyramids like in Egypt, but then there's pyramids in like Alabama or something. There's pyramids in like South America. There's pyramids like in places in Europe, like all over the world. Like, do you think that is like part of like the Tower of Babel or something? Like, what do you like? What are your? Do you have any thoughts on the pyramids at all? Because that's kind of like a mystery.
I mean, yeah, it's a mystery for me. I don't find this stuff that interesting to be honest for me to
All
like
right, fair enough. Yeah.
delve as deep. And I'm pretty sure people will be like, "Oh man, so you haven't done the research." But at the same time, it's like it's not really that important to me because like I said, it's like humankind has always been smart in my opinion. Like if
Yeah.
if you were smart enough to have a civilization, like you're able to create a lot of things. And it's only like, dude, right now we can be super lazy and get away with it, you know?
Right.
But like back then, I don't think they had the luxury of being lazy, so they would do that kind of stuff. And because men were greedful and wanted their power to be in full display, they would make these great works and all that. So I do believe that they like architecture, dude. I mean, for example, even like let's look at the Bible for a second. I'm reading Exodus as one part of my reading, and God is literally using, people to construct these, wonderful and like very intricate, how would you say,
Yeah.
like
Yeah. Yeah. The
artifacts.
the tabernacle.
Yeah,
Yeah.
basically. So I mean, like yeah, the all the artifacts that go into the tabernacle, and yeah, the tabernacle itself. But even just like architectural wise, fast forward to Solomon. That's Solomon is far earlier than this 19th century. So it's like
Right.
I'm
Yeah.
not gonna
Yeah. Yeah.
be like saying like, oh, they didn't have the tech. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like these people in like the 1800s or whenever it was, like there's ways to get resources. I mean, we don't really know. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it could have. It doesn't mean that Jesus Christ ruled and reigned for 1,000 years just because we can't explain how they did it right now. Maybe we're dumber than they are. I don't know. But yeah, and it's like if I didn't have a job and I just had a piece of land without a job, like I could probably build a lot of things and do a lot of cool stuff. Because
Yeah.
it's like you got nothing better to do. I'd be just sitting around whittling all day and have a great time. But like I got a mortgage I gotta pay, so we're like distracted from that. But but that's just a thing that's got somebody tailgating me.
Yeah.
I should have been parked. That's the thing. The post mill thing I guess is really popular right now. But see, like there's so much false uh Christianity that's popular today. It's just mind blowing. Like we I could understand why people would think we're under like Satan's little season and that deception. But the funny thing is like all the people that think that we're in Satan's little season are the people that are deceived right now.
Yeah,
You
deceived
know,
by
and
Satan.
it's like it like um Catholicism is like huge right now, and then like the Eastern Orthodox stuff is huge, and it's like it seems like that's the battle that's being presented to us. Are you Catholic or are you Orthodox or are you like a modernist? You know, it's like I want to say the the F word, but I also want to not have this bleed off of you.
Yeah,
But it's like a modernist and like what are you? And it's like, well, we're over here in like this Baptist camp,
yeah,
and we're not like Southern Baptists or like Reformed Baptists where we're a part of like some organization or we're like Protestants that are labeling ourselves as Baptists. Like we're this totally separate entity that is just not in that debate at all.
yeah,
But that's all that's being presented is like all this false Christianity. And in like Matthew 24, like and then when you compare it with like Revelation and stuff, like there's gonna be like a great deception of like false Christianity, um, like having the appearance of Christianity, but like denying the power thereof. And like,
yeah,
and the thing that like really blows my mind about all this like popular Christianity that exists today is nobody is like ever focused on soul winning ever. Like, there's
yeah,
no soul winning with the Catholic Church. There's no soul winning with the Eastern Orthodox. There's no soul winning with these Reformed Baptists. Like, at the best case scenario, the Reformed Baptists are doing like these theological debates, which is just a waste of time.
yeah.
And they're oftentimes like Nick Fuentes comes to mind where um and I don't want to do any disclaimers. I don't want to be like, well, there's things I like about Nick Fuentes, things I don't like. It's like there's like Nick Fuentes is like using Bible verses completely out of context where he's talking about like Jesus gave Peter the keys, so therefore Peter's the first pope and
Yeah.
these kind of things, and like the church is built on Peter. But when you actually read the context of those verses, Jesus talking about like soul winning, like he's going to give you the keys in the sense that like you guys are going to go out and be soul winners, and you guys are going to be the ones that are like bringing people in and these kind of things, getting people saved. But
Yeah.
these other groups, these other people, and these other influencers don't have this mindset of a soul winner. So there's so much Bible that they're just like misinterpreting when it's like the number one thing is supposed to be like soul winning. That's the overarching theme of the New Testament is the soul winning. Like that's it. Like that's what we're supposed to be doing. And nobody is talking about that, Everybody's just debating like OnlyFans whores and they're just being like prideful and like having just it's just like full of debate, deceit, malignity, it's like Romans 1 or something. Like all these people, they're like preaching this like false gospel, this false Jesus. And they're saying like, well, if you don't go to the building that's all fancy, and the guy's got like a fish head on his hat, and if you don't rub the beads, and if you don't, you don't do the works, and something that blew my mind is I saw somebody say recently, somebody was debating a Catholic or something like on a Omegle or something, and they said, that it's not possible because the Catholic Church says you have to keep all the sacraments, and there's like
Yeah.
7 sacraments of the Catholic Church, and one of the sacraments is that you need to like remain celibate and get into the priesthood. That's like a sacrament. And then the other sacrament is that you need to like get married. And so it's like you can't keep all the sacraments. That's a contradiction right there.
Yeah.
And then we don't even need to talk about all the idolatry. And they're like, well, those are icons. And, there's so much idolatry. And then they got their little beads that they rub. And then they're praying to like dead people and they're worshiping Mary. Like, we don't even need to get into all that. But it's like, there's so much false Christianity. And then you got like the Orthodox side where they got their own set of like weird, funny hats and their weird outfits. Like they're up there, like wearing like you ever see like the Master of Disguise with Dana Carvey? You know what I'm
Probably
talking
not.
about? That it's like that's a movie from like you're like 23, right?
26.
20. Oh, my bad. Well, you're not
That's
that younger than me. We're about pretty much the same. But like there was a movie when I was a kid. It's called Master of Disguise, and like maybe you've seen like a clip of it. Like he's in this big turtle outfit. Like he's like his whole thing is like he's a spy or something, and he's trying to like
Ah,
infiltrate this like elite ring of like evil people to like find his parents that were kidnapped, and
yeah,
he's trying to like get into this like elitist club, and it's called the Turtle Club,
yeah.
and he's throughout the movie he's got different disguises to like hide his identity, and in this scene he's dressed up like a giant turtle. Like
Hmm.
he's got like this big giant green suit. He's got like this big shell underneath
Yeah, I
this green
see.
suit. You know what I mean? And then so he's like, he can like put his head inside of it, and that's like what the Orthodox Church preacher looks like. Like he's got this big like turtle shell on or something, and you know, they've got all their weird stuff too. Like they're like believers of, like Mary has like appeared to people and like spoken to people. It's like that's like weird and demonic and like not in the Bible anywhere. And um they have like the faith plus work salvation and the whole thing. But my point is there's a lot of deception out there, and it seems like the only things that are being presented to us are like more deception. Like, are you Catholic or are you Orthodox? You
Yeah.
know, or like, are you Trump or are you like Kamala Harris? It's like there's
Mhm.
no. It's like I'm Thomas Massey, if anything. Like, there's no like we're not being presented anything that's
Yeah.
true. So like we sort of are under great deception,
Mm,
but I would say it's the deception from like Matthew 24 rather than Gog and Magog in Satan's little season.
right.
I don't
Yeah.
know. What do you have anything to?
Yeah. Let me see. It's like, the patterns of this world, it's like I kind of forget the verses. Like this one of these verses that I kind of have like at the tip of my tongue and I just can't really remember. But like do
Yeah,
you know like the verse I'm trying to, quote? It's like, it's Satan, he's the god of this world. And it's he's the one influencing and blinding, the ones who are not saved. So it's like I think it's probably
yeah.
like in Ephesians or in like Colossians. I mean, there's like some of those verses that, just straight up tell us that, Satan is the one blinding the unsaved. And, the rudiments of this world, I think it's like Colossians something. Let me see.
It's in there somewhere. Yeah, like it's on the tip of my tongue. I'm sure it'll
Mhm.
come to my mind. But I know what you mean. Yeah, like yeah. It's like he's blinded the minds. It's something like that. It's like he's blind. Basically, like if you're not saved, like you're under a deception. Like he's blinded you, and that includes like you throwing the label of Jesus Christ onto your deception. Like the Bible talks about another Jesus,
Yeah,
and it's like this Catholic, this Orthodox Jesus that, has like long hair and stuff. And it's like, that ain't my Jesus.
right.
It's like, I don't think the Shroud of Turin is like a legitimate like piece of evidence.
Yeah, so I
I
got the
just don't buy
verses
that.
right
And
now.
it
And it's
cool.
Colossians 2:8. Beware lest any man spoil you through philosophy and vain deceit, after the tradition
Vain
of
deceit.
man, after the rudiments of the world, and not after Christ. And also Second Corinthians 4:4. It says, in whom the God, that's lowercase, the God of this world hath blinded the minds of
Right.
them which believe not, lest the light of the glorious gospel of Christ, who is the image of God, should shine unto them. So yeah, those were like the two verses that I was thinking. And yeah, like you were saying, that's true. And I mean, just to like make sure we actually have like 3 minutes and 50 seconds left on this session, but we can like
Okay.
restart it here in a second if you
Yeah,
want.
just whenever it's like a minute out, we'll just restart it. We'll start over.
Yeah, man, for sure. Yeah, just letting you know that just ahead of time. But
Okay.
yeah, what were you saying, bro?
I mean, yeah, and it's like that verse is saying like there's this like glorious light. It's like the light of Jesus Christ is like so glorious and so bright and so obvious, and it's like it's right there. But you have like Satan like putting the blinders on over you, and it's like these people that are supposed to be like Christians are claiming to be Christians, claiming to be of the truth, and they're spreading like all this fear online. Don't eat snow. There's vaccines in it. It's like there's parasites in the snow and AI is controlling the parasites. It's like there's a massive Christian deception going on right now. And, you know, it's one of those things where I can understand why people are so turned off from quote unquote Christianity because everything that's Christian, quote unquote, in the public eye is just ridiculous.
Yeah,
Like there's no parasites in the snow. You know what I
yeah.
mean? Like they're not like you're not gonna eat snow and then be like vaccinated from the snow. Like that's not what's happening right now. Like the snow is important. Like these people are the same people that were like mocking the maskers in like 2020, and it's like you guys are just the new maskers. It's like the devil was like kind of playing over here with like these people, like, oh, be scared of the air.
Yeah,
And then now he's over here on this wing and he's like, now be scared of the sky.
yeah.
It's like that behind you, like that's like Bill Gates like sprayed stuff in the sky behind you there. Like that's a projection or something. It's like a hologram behind you, you know. But it's like, yeah, so this is the Christianity that's presented today. It's like parasites in the snow. It's like, Jesus Christ is like somewhere behind an ice wall right now. And it's like this isn't what Christianity is supposed to be. Christianity is supposed to be like we're winning souls to Christ.
Yeah,
Like that's the mission. That's the goal right now is like we're not here to put on a show. We're not here to like uncover conspiracies, even though that could be fun. It's like we're here to like win the souls. And
yeah,
like and we're gonna like and so you have like the pre-mill, and then the reason why they reject the pre-mill is because they associate it with the pre-trib and the dispensationalists. Like that's been yoked up in their mind together. So if you're pre-mill, then you're automatically like disby and like pre-trib and like one of those weird OFB people. And it's kind of like one of those things where it's like it's a false binary or something where, oh, you don't like Trump, well then you must like Biden then. Like
right.
try to tell a MAGA like Trump supporter that you don't like Trump, they're gonna be like, oh, well, you must be a liberal. And it's
Yeah.
like, dude, like, no, you're the liberal here, buddy. Like
Literally,
you're
yeah.
the liberal. You're the liberal here. Trust me
Yeah.
on that, my friend.
100%.
Um,
We have
but
like 30 seconds.
okay, all right, well, let's
You
end it
want?
and then we'll start over.
All right,
Call
cool.
like send me a new link or whatever.
All right. All right. Let's see. All right. Let me see.
Or can you just it ends the recording, we stay like connected, but you just re-record?
Let me see. It's almost